go get him.
Outcast animations. What's up, YouTube? I may be hornier than a button-down sea turtle right now, but that's not going to stop me from tutoring you guys. So let's get started. So what you're going to want to do is, to start, your very first step in hex modding is what you're going to want to do is download the link in the description to get Horizon, and you'll also get a WinRAR file. Now when you're going to get the WinRAR file, this is what you're going to do with it. Just leave Horizon, everything inside it, and then just head over to your documents or whatever, and you're going to scroll down into your computer, and you find the local C drive. So that should just basically be a lot of random numbers most of the time, and then it should have C:. Click on that. And I already have this done, but then you're going to want to create a new folder, just like this, and call it saves. It doesn't matter if it has a capital or not. Don't have to get that specific. It just needs to be named saves. Then inside it, you're going to want to extract, place the tools thing here, the WinRAR, which that's what it looks like, and then just extract here. So you right click, if you would like to right click on it, and then just click extract here. And then this is what it should look like. So then, after you're done with that, we have to actually get the game save you want to mod it. Now I have this up twice, so let's just get rid of that. Now, you're going to need Horizon now. So I have a shortcut to it on my desktop, but it's also in that folder. So just open it up, get your hard drive all set up, or flash drive, however you have it. Open up Dungeon Defenders, and then scroll down until you find your save game. Remember, not your arcade game, not your backup, and none of your DLCs. One that says save game and should have your profile, and drag that out here in the middle. Okay, and then you get this little page brought up, which you might remember it if you've seen my how to download Minecraft maps to Xbox tutorial. Now you're going to click over here and go to contents, and then you'll have this one thing that says DunDefHeroes.dun. Right click that and click extract, and then navigate your way to the saves folder that you just recently made and extract it there. Now something I recommend you also do is extract it a second time to your desktop. This is what I do. So in case that one file gets corrupted, I will explain how to do this. So now just leave this all there, minimize it, and now we're going to have to open up command prompt. I have this tagged here, but just for reference, I'm going to show you how to get there. Going to want to go to run. So just search run and type in Cmd. That is an S. Cmd. And you'll get this. And then I just have it pinned right here. So now what you're going to want to do is, first thing, you do this every single time you're doing this. Every time you redo everything, you always go through these 3 steps. And the first one is you hit CD space C : backslash and then saves. Then hit enter, and then it should say this and makes that like the default folder. And now what you want to do is type dd.exe space -d space dun, and you can type out DunDefHeroes.dun, but if you just type in dun and then hit tab, it'll do it for you. And then type in decompressed, like that. Then hit enter, and you should get this little thing that says Fairchild, all this, and it should say all done. So now we're going to minimize that. Now what you want to do is, first of all, now you should get these 2 things. You should have had this from extracting it into your saves folder, and the decompressed for just doing all that. So now minimize that and open up Hex Workshop, which again, I have a shortcut to it, but if you want to find it in your saves folder, you should get this little folder, and then just scroll down till you see HWorks32. But now take your decompressed and drag it out into Hex Workshop, and this is what you'll get. Now, if you don't decompress the file, this will just be like even more of a random jumble of numbers and letters. But this is actually a little organized, believe it or not. Now, first thing you're going to want to do is I'm going to use, for everyone who saw the Eternity Crystal method, which if you don't want a hex mod, you want an easier way, I recommend go checking that video out. We're going to go use that same weapon. So what you want to do to find a weapon is hit Control F, and then you'll get this to find. And you're going to want to open up hex values and type in 010203 and find all instances. Now what this is a code that starts before pretty much every weapon, armor, or pet. So you want to find those, and here is a listed item. All its stats are above it. So this up here is a 010203 for this item. Now let's see. I was using my Huntress, and it was my second set of Huntresses. So I'm going to scroll down a little. And this is what you'll get here at the end of them. So if you pass this, you've passed all your heroes and their equipped weapons. And I recommend equipping the weapon before you actually try to mod it. Now, to tell the difference between these, if you can't already tell the difference by their name, it should say Hero Template Apprentice for the Apprentice, Hero Template Squire for the Squire. And the next two get odd. The next two, you actually just get Hero Template Recruit. The Recruit is actually the Monk. And then the Hero Template Initiate, which the Initiate is actually the Huntress. So now here we have, it says DunDef Equipment Crossbow Style 7. So you know this is the weapon you're looking for. And then there's 01023 is right here. So what you're gonna want to do is go 3 bytes back from the 01023. So that's starting from these. And scroll all the way over to, you can highlight the whole thing, that's what I usually do, but you're not really going to need that much space. But we'll just do it for safekeeping. So go from 3 behind this, 3 behind the 010203, and drag over the entire thing. Then copy that, select File, New, and then paste it in this new tab, which you can go back and forth from in here. And now, you don't really know what any of these things mean right now, at least if you're a newcomer. So to make this easy, hit Control Shift B, and then you get this little thing. Okay, now navigate your way to your saves folder, which is actually right here. And then you get these two things. You're going to want to hit dd.mods.hpk. And then you get this whole setup, which what this does is it highlights the regions that you're going to want to use. Now, if you don't select the 3 before this and the 01023 in this order, then these are going to be placed very wrong. Now, here is resistances, which this isn't armor, so resistance you're not going to want to mess with. That's basically all the elemental and basic resistance. This is all your hero stats. I don't know why that's not maxed out. Oh, right, I accidentally messed that one up on my own. But you're going to want to make them all FF. So this, again, this is the one that I used in Eternity Crystal first. So most of the weapon attributes are already modded. But here are all the hero stats. So you're going to want to make all these, if you actually want to max them out, FF. And now here's the damage. And the highest you can set the damage is 77359400. So it'd be 77359400. As you can see, it's already done, but just as an example. Now, this is the additional projectiles. This, I didn't want to have many projectiles. I don't know why this is actually, this shouldn't be at 7F. If you want 5 additional, so that would make the 6, you're going to want to put it at 85. And then you just go down from there. So 4 would be 84, 3 would be, no, I'm sorry, 5 would be 84 additional projectiles. Hold on, I'm sorry. 85 is actually plus 6 projectiles. So 84 is plus 5 projectiles, 83 is plus 4 projectiles, 82 is plus 3 projectiles, 81 is plus 2 projectiles. Bleh, this is quite the tongue teaser. I'm just going to make this simple. You start 85 is 6 and you just go down. And you can't have negative projectiles. But if you want to shoot something backwards, I'll explain that. Now me personally, whoa, that is not what I wanted to pop up. Get out of here, Windows 7. Little figgle knot. Now, as I was saying, I want it to just be one single solitary projectile. So I want it to be plus 0, nada. Now 80 is plus 1, but so that would actually make it 2. So I'm going to set it to 79. Or basic, pretty much nothing, you can just set it to 7F, which is what it was at originally. Now this is the charge speed. This is a this is not something you're going to want to actually up this up. Oh, my bad. It just says charge speed because it's a noodle. But you're going to want to put this at projectile speed. The projectile speed, if you want a slow-mo weapon, all you have to do is do A90000. Now, I don't want this to be a slow-mo weapon. I'm happy with the speed it's at, so I'm just going to leave that all there. But if you want it to be a specific speed, click on this little nut thing up here, and you'll get this, the base converter. Now when you're using this, you want to set this to Motorola and float 32. Now if you're trying to figure out what a hex means, and not a 2-byte hex, it won't really work too well. But say if you want to know what that's not a 77359400 means, this is what it means. It means a very big ass number. But say you're not trying to find what a hex means. You want to find what the number is to make a specific hex. So say you want to make that projectile speed 500. You would type this in, 43FA0000, in this little spot right here. But I don't need that right now because I'm just going to leave that all at 0. Now here we have the element type, which 01, I believe, is poison, 02 is fire, and 03 is lightning. Then you also actually have 06, which is its additional generic damage, which I like that just because it's unique and you usually don't see it a lot because the extra damage number that comes up is written in yellow, which I think is neat. So I'm going to put it at that. Now here's the element damage. I don't know why it's actually messed up a little. It should be higher, so it should be 77359400. So good, that's all set. And now this is the size. 3F8000000 actually just means 1. So I have this at a regular size, and I intend to keep it that way. But if you would like it to be bigger, just open up your base converter and do 2 would be that, 3 would be that, and I don't recommend making anything bigger than 3 because then it's just ridiculously obnoxious. Now if you want it invisible, you put it to 0, so you just put all zeros. Now if you want a backwards weapon, you just put negative whatever you want, so -1. So this would be a normal sized weapon backwards. Now if you want it generally small and backwards, -0.5. Or if you just want it small, just 0.5. But now if we're making a negative weapon, you have to be mindful of certain things. One, is it going to look stupid? A lot of times, yes it will. Now with monk and squire weapons, if you want to make them backwards, you should try walking up to the dummies in the tavern first, turning your back on them, and see if your weapon will hit it. Because not all weapons hit backwards. And the monk weapon, your ranged attack will always still shoot forward. But now huntress weapons do tend to look very stupid because they end up actually being upside down and backwards, and they shoot behind you. Same thing with apprentice weapons. They shoot behind you and become almost completely useless. But if you really want to do this, just hit negative on the base converter, negative, and then whatever actual size you want it, and you should get a good response in that. And now attack speed, I believe I had this set to 4. Let me just check and see. Yep, 40800000. 4 or 5 are good attack speeds. I'm pretty sure it doesn't make a difference on Huntress and Apprentice weapons, but I like to do it anyway. With Monk and Squire weapons, attack speed is basically how, if you have it at 4 or 5, you can basically just trigger finger the sword instead of having to wait for the recoil, pretty much. Now let's see, this is the current upgrade on the weapon, which I want to be able to upgrade that so I can trademark name it. So I'm going to put this at 63, because that's 99. And then I want to find the max upgrade level, which is right here, and put that at 64, because that's 100. And now the experience and item you don't want to mess with. Weapon range, I have it maxed to FF. Range damage, I have maxed to 7735940. Same thing with the clip size. You want to put the thing you've been using for max damage, 7735940. Now I have reload speed maxed out, but that's the only thing that's going to matter on a Huntress weapon. So knockback bonus and charge speed, 7F is pretty much just nothing. Shots per second, I have an 8E, which I believe I actually made this 15. If you're going to want your shots per second up, you can actually just put that at FF, and it won't really make it lag or anything, but on some occasions it might. So I'd be careful with certain weapons will cause it to lag, but that's really only if you max out projectiles, because it just makes, if the weapon most weapons actually can only shoot one projectile. So when you're upping the projectiles on them, you're just overlapping the weapons being shot, the arrows being shot, and it just drops the FPS rate of your game. So now, after all those, you get something that says primary name. Don't mess with that. Here's, you have your secondary name, item, quality, and that stuff you don't want to mess with. And here is where your primary color starts. So don't mess with these. Skip the item serial code. Never touch that. What do we have here? Item locked or unlocked. You don't want to mess with that. Now here is all your colors from this, after this big empty space of wasteless crap, and you get this highlighted area. Now if you want to have a specific color scheme of your own, I would recommend doing it in Eternia Crystal, but this, for instance, is Rainbow. So this is a hex mod for Rainbow. It's 4-1, 1C, 5-1, EC, 4-2, 6F, 3D, 7-1, 4-5, 3A, 0-3, AE. That's pretty much all the primary. And then 4-2 for the starting of the secondary, 4-2, C8, 0-0-0-0. Then, oh, I'm sorry, that's actually still primary. It's just the primary glow. Now starting the secondary with 4-5, 3A, 0-3, AE, 4-2, 6F, 3D, 7-1, 4-1, 1C, 5-1, EC, 4-2, C8, 0-0-0-0. So that's Rainbow. But say you don't want Rainbow. Understandable. You just want to open up a new file, and then open up your saves folder again, and you get this folder that's colors. And now if you see anything here, I've saved a couple things in here, but here's black on white, blue on cyan, green, green on white. I actually placed the lava in here, which that's something that's rather popular, so I'll just show you that. Lava would be C1, C8, 0-0-0-0, C1, C8, 0-0-0-0, C1, C8, 0-0-0-0, 4-2, 4C, 0-0-0-0, 4-2, C8, 0-0-0-0, 4-1, 2-0, 0-0-0-0, then just 0-0-0-0-0-0-0, 4-2, 4C, 0-0-0-0. A bit repetitive, a bit of a tongue teaser after a while, but that's lava for you. And if you also, then there's also neon blue, neon green, some of those things I added. I believe this small size I added myself. Super glow, white and black and yellow and green. So let's just X that out. Now I already have the color I want, So I'm just going to X out this little tab of lava. And oops, I accidentally started a new one. You actually don't need to start a new one when you're dragging those in. Just drag it in and it'll open a new one automatically. So now that this is all done, completely 100% done, gonna copy this whole thing. They're highlighting it. And then this should all still be highlighted here. So then just right click, paste. And when you do something different, when you change something, it changes to red. So this is very nice. This is an excellent procedure. It has gone over perfectly well. But now what we're going to want to do, because we are not finished, is do some character modding. Now I already have my characters modded, so I'm going to show you them for example. To find a character modded, usually my territory, I believe it says territory color. The third color on your character, right here, I usually leave the glow at 1. And again, 3F8000 is 1. Now remember, all the stats for something is before it. So what you want to do is find your character's name. Mine right here is Zanso. This is my apprentice. It should say DunDef Players, Hero Template, all this good stuff. Everything's going to be behind it. Now I believe it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After these 7 bytes right before the name, usually is where you get this first setup, which is, in my case, the glow for the third color. In case you can't even change this regularly, so it should be at 3F800000, unless you upped it in Eternia Crystal, which I recommend upping things to 100. So if you did change it to 100, you're going to want to look for 42C8 and then the 0000. But I don't have that. So what you want to do is you want to drag up from here, and then usually you want to look for, after a bunch of these things, go to generally the first one. Now on other cases, I would just drag straight up from, after finding this color, just drag straight up to where it says none about, and then find your way around. Like here you see it says none, 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 none. There's a character right after that, drag it up to there. But this character, just try, like I drag up to say here, because it's right before that starts. So now, but we're not doing that right now. So let's head up and let's find that 3F8000 again. There it is. And now I'm going to scroll up, which usually it tends to end at like a 1. So I'm just going to make sure. I'm just going to copy that spot. Might have a little too much, but that's okay, because we'll figure it out when we get there. This one is a lot less self-explanatory. I'm going to X this out so we can get all those annoying little green bars out of the way. So here we have all this. Now just for reference to the picture I'm going to be showing you, I'm just going to put this at F, because this makes it a lot easier to do, believe it or not. Now, this picture, which I'll give you, I don't take credit for this either, by the way. I will give a link to it in the description. Basically highlights the area of your character's stats and labels them. Now, so what all this is down here, all this jumbled highlighted areas are the colors. Then there's just this blank spot, and then here's all the stats. I don't care to mod the colors here. I always recommend doing colors in Eternia Crystal, because it's a lot easier. But if you wish to do the color schemes, excuse me, use the same schemes that you've used on the weapons. So there's 12. There's 12 little highlighted areas, 12 little sets of 4 of the colors. So from here, this is the first color, gonna want to count up. Now pretty much when you have it set to just go up to F, if you scroll over 1, and then just go up 1, I believe that actually counts it to 4, but let's just count it out for safe. So that's 1, 1, oops, that's going backwards. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 4. So every 4, so I'm just going to go up 1, that's another 4, so that's 8, 12. So there you go, those are all your colors right there. So now let's count out 5. the 5 random sets of 4 that you get in between the two. So I'm just going to count that up because that's 4 right there. 2, 3, 4. So that's 5. So now the next 12 after this is what you really want to see. So count up again. So that's 4, 8, 12. So I actually went up a way too much. So it was actually this 0, 1 that I should have stopped at. But that's okay. But just so you can see it in a better light, I'm going to X this out. No. And actually try and find the better should be around here somewhere. There it is. 0, 1. So drag from the first number after that to your territory glow. Copy. New. Paste. And so this makes it a lot easier, especially once you get to your stats. It's actually lined up. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually has it perfectly aligned. So these 12, 4, 8, 12. Oh, not a good counter. These are all your stats. Now I have a set of notes that, again, I don't take credit for these notes. This picture is courtesy of Stoner on Xbox 360 Haven. And now I also have a set of notes that tell you what you should max your character stats to, which that goes credit to this little kid right here, Racklick. Apparently a good, very nice modder, very sweet boy, nice young man. So now this is my apprentice. So right here it has the apprentice stats. And from here, right here is the player health, this 4, as you can see in the picture. Now these notes just go in order from left to right, the stats. So see, it goes player health, then player speed, then player damage. This is the player health, this is the player speed, and then this is the player damage. So it goes in order. And so what I'm going to do is going to start at that, and the apprentice says for the first thing, I already have this done. So what you're going to want to do for an apprentice is for the first health, following the notes, should be 0016 E360, and then the player speed 0000 C350. Now I'm not going to go through this step by step because I'm going to leave a link in the description for this set of notes. But what you're actually going to do is you're not going to cover all 12 of these. You're actually going to end up leaving these last 4. Because this second to last one right here, this is the character level. Then this is the character XP. Which that kind of just follows along. You don't need to mess with it. Now these are all maxed out stats. It will set your character to level 2 billion. Now when you have all your characters maxed out, do not think your file is corrupted when this happens. When you go and select on your storage device, which should be your USB drive, it will take a minute to actually load. Because having characters at that high level slows the game down a bit. Just loading it. It shouldn't slow your gameplay down whatsoever. But these are generally maxed out stats. If you try to set the level to something of your own, like something lower, it's going to, with these stats, it's going to reset. Now there is a way to make it so that you can set your character level to whatever you want. Will you quit this Windows 7? Sorry about that. But what it is that when you have to set your character stats to extremely high in order to do this, which when you do that, you can really only place one turret or something down, and it will just lag the balls out of your entire game. So these are good stats that won't make your game lag, which I think have been very helpful for me. So, but this is it. This is all we want to do right now. So let's exit that out. You can exit that out. And what you would do is you'd highlight all this, copy and paste it, but I haven't changed anything, so that's not completely necessary. And after you're done with everything, I actually want to fix one of my mods. So in the meantime, I'll just go over a few weapons. A few things, my bad. Now right here, if you have your character named, it makes it a lot easier to find them. It's going to be at the top. This is my monk. So I want to find, these are all his armors. Then there's his familiar. But here's the weapon I want. So go 3 back from 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Copy. Paste. Gonna drag this back over though. You little noodle. And then Control Shift B. Navigate your way to your saves folder. dd.mods.hpk. Brings all this up. Now what I had to fix on here is I made it backwards, but I made it a little too big backwards. So I'm just going to have it set to a -1. And again, that's how you set things backwards. Make them negative. So that's BF800000. So there's size BF800000. Now if you want stats maxed out, put them at FF. If this was armor, you'd put the resistances as FF as well. Highest damage and also highest clip size. Basically the highest thing for a 4-byted area is 77359400. If you want additional projectiles, put that at 83. For that would actually be 4 projectiles. 85 would be 6. 84 would be 5. Yada 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 yada. Projectile speed. If you want it to be slow-mo, just put A9 and then all zeros. Element type, 01's poison, 02's fire, 03 is lightning, and 06 is the additional generic. Now, if you want it to be able to upgrade it to your trademark name, put this at 63, current upgrade, and then max upgrade at 64. Experience and item, weapon range. Weapon range is a 2-byted thing that you max out the FF. Range damage is the 77359400. Clip size, you'd also do that. All this stuff, it should just be 7F if you're not using it, or load speed, stuff like this, because this is a monk weapon. It's not necessary. Primary name, don't mess with. Secondary name, don't mess with. Item quality, not necessary. Primary color and secondary color, don't mess with. Just don't mess with the serial code especially. That will always corrupt you. And then all the colors right here, item locked or unlocked, don't need to mess with again. So all these colors right here, once you're done, highlight the whole thing, copy, and paste it right back where all that highlighted area still should be. Now once you're done modding everything, just go up here, click save. Then you can exit out of this. Don't need to save that. You've fully finished your first mod. Almost. Now let's hit over back to the command prompt, which you should just leave all this up when you're doing that. So now what you're going to want to do is hit dd.exe again, but this time -c, and you're going to flip it. So you type in decompressed first, which you can just put deco tab space DunDefHeroes.dun, or just hit dun tab, and then you'll get that. So it should be dd.exe-c. Well, there's a space after that dd.exe, space decompressed space DunDefHeroes.dun. Then just hit enter, and it basically rehashes all these codes back into a file that, like I said, the normal DunDef file is it's a lot more jumbled than the decompress. Basically, this is recompressing it back into its original form, just with your new stats. So after you're done, should say all done, and X that out. Bring Horizon back up, which should still have all this, and then right click on DunDefHeroes.dun, click replace, navigate to your saves folder, and all that recompressing should give you a file that says DunDefHeroes.dun.rebuild. This is what you're going to want to use. So click on that, file replace successfully, hit OK, save, rehash, and resign, save, rehash, and resign to your device, and there you go. Now this should all work. Now had you done something wrong, what will happen is when you are selecting your storage device for your game, it will just freeze right there, and you see the music stop playing and everything. That is when your file is corrupted, and in that case what you're going to want to do is you would drag this back out, hit contents, and then replace it with this DunDefHeroes.dun that you left on your desktop as a backup. and then hit save, rehash, and resign. But I'm not going to do that because I'm all fine. So now this, I hope this has been helpful, because, you know, we're the shit here in Outcast Animations. But, again, if you want something modded for you, we will do that gladly. Just, it'll be very few Microsoft points. We usually charge for that. But we also give free ones on the house just for subscribing and PMing this account with your gamer tag. We will give free mods out for that. Usually one free mod per subscribe. If you get a friend, if you refer a friend and get him to subscribe, just let us know, and that'll be another free mod for you and your friend. So, will you quit it? You little Scandinavian crossroad, I swear to God. Well, again, hope this video was very helpful, and watch out for those sea turtles.
Outrageous.